Hey guys, DMS here. Today I have for you the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2. We're going to talk about them, review them, and compare them to the Apple Airpods Pro. Let's check it out. Now real quick, before we start this video, do me a favor, click subscribe down below. I have one more video coming out in 2020 before we kick off 2021, and it is all of the headphones that I've recently reviewed in a big list ranked on sound quality. Exactly what you guys have been asking for. So make sure you're subscribed, check that out. Let's get into the video. So I don't know if you saw my review on the AirPods Pro, but I liked them quite a bit, mostly because of their extreme convenience. If you haven't seen that video though, it is going to be linked in the video description. You should definitely check it out. But today, that's not what we're talking about. Today we're talking about the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2. You see, after I made my video about the AirPods Pros, Sennheiser reached out and they said, well, if you like those, you should check these out because these are the true wireless solution for audiophiles. And I figured I'd give it a go. So let's check it out. Here they are. The cases side by side are similar in size. The Sennheiser one is definitely bigger in both dimensions, but it really isn't huge. It's still pocketable, though it doesn't have quite as low of a profile. It does, though, luckily have Type-C charging, which is nice. I have been able to charge these much faster when I charge the AirPods Pros. I find the AirPods Pros take a lot more charge time to get up to a usable amount, whereas these I can just plug them up for a few minutes and they are good to go. This case is covered in a nice feeling fabric on the outside. I will say they nailed the premium feel here. Little Sennheiser logo on there. You open it up, and then there are the IEMs. And you can see right there the contacts for charging. They have lights right there, and then you put them in your ears. Now, these come with a few different sizes of tips. They do use a relatively traditional type of tip, so unlike the AirPods Pros, you're not stuck to a proprietary system. I think they probably fit best with the tips from Sennheiser, but I have put other different tips on here. But I always have ended up coming back to these. These are the ones that Sennheiser provided with them. So I put these in my ears. I hear a notification that they're connected to the phone. And then there are a few different things I can do. I can double tap and put them in transparency mode. I can double tap again for active noise canceling. And then basic touch controls for volume up, volume down. It is nice if I'm listening to music in active noise canceling mode and I touch twice to go transparent, it pauses my music. And I like the way that's set up. I'm pretty sure you can change it, but I like the way that's set up because a lot of times I'd be using these in the office and someone would walk in the room and, you know, obviously they'd want to say something, so I tap, music pauses, they go into transparency mode, and I can hear what someone's about to say. Very seamless feeling transition. I will say the transparency mode isn't quite as good as it is on the AirPods Pros. And back and forth, this is what we're going to see mostly for the most part. I'll go on and summarize it for you guys. I would like you to stick around for the entire review, but if you are in a big hurry, this is going to be the summaries, essentially that the AirPods Pros win on a lot of their convenience features and a lot of their tech features aside from the charging speed, and the Sennheisers win basically in almost every way when it comes to sound quality. So the transparency mode, the active noise canceling, it all works just fine on the Sennheisers, but it is a step under the AirPods in those regards, unfortunately. But once again, I'm glad they use Type-C, and the sound quality is really where these shine. So let's talk about sound quality. So if I take these out, I have them connected to the Sennheiser app. There's a lot you can do in here. They actually have an option here called high-end sound tuning. This does reduce the battery life, but it actually does seem to help the sound quality of the headphones. Now, I did also use the EQ in the Sennheiser app because by default, these are very V-shaped. Big emphasis on bass and treble. The mids are a bit scooped out. Very detailed and better soundstage than the Pros, but still a very IEM sort of sounding soundstage. It's still kind of in your head. It's not super out in space, but that's not particularly a bad thing. I wasn't a fan of the stock frequency response, but I took the Sennheiser app, which bakes it into these, turned the bass down 4 decibels, the mid-range up 1 decibel, and the treble down 1 decibel, and it seems to be comfortable in that range. It still has a bit of a warm tonality in the upper bass, lower mid-range, but the treble is tamed a bit, and it's not quite as boomy as the default configuration when you have it tuned like this. Now, you could set it up however you want, but this is how I have it set up in the Sennheiser app. And it's also nice that they updated almost immediately out of the box, so there seems to be a level of continued support and care when it comes to these wireless IEMs. Now, I haven't tested every wireless IEM on the planet. If you want to know a lot more about comparing individual IEMs, there's a lot of channels for that out there. But in my own personal opinion, comparing to a lot of the headphones I use and other wireless devices I use, these do pretty dang decent on audio quality. I wouldn't say that they have an advantage over the AirPods Pros when it comes to imaging, directional imaging, but they certainly have an advantage over the AirPods Pros when it comes to both detail and soundstage and timbre characteristics. While I am definitely more of a fan of the default frequency response of the AirPods Pros, the Sennheisers just sound more lifelike across the board. The call quality isn't remarkable. The microphone is okay, it gets the job done. You can understand what you're saying, but it's not going to impress anybody. And I think that's really what is going to separate these two products. The AirPods Pros are more of a convenience factor that is acceptable for sound quality, whereas the Sennheisers aren't quite as good in all of the convenience factors. They're not quite as good in all the tech factors, but absolutely take the cake when it comes to overall detail. And I find it much easier to get lost in the music with these, especially after I have them tuned to my liking with EQ. Now, it is worth noting, these are $300, whereas the AirPods Pros are almost $100 cheaper now. So it really comes down to what you're going to prioritize as to which one of these is right for you. I honestly like both of them. If I was going to sit down and intentionally listen to music, I would be using the Sennheisers. And if I was going to get on a short plane ride, I'd probably take the AirPods. But if you want to be able to have a pocket-sized hi-fi setup, well, this isn't a bad solution. You could take these on a bus, you could take these to the office, and they don't have a big footprint. This is normally where I would talk about amplifier pairing, but wireless. Crazy how things are getting so small and so good these days. So guys, that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please leave a like down below, a comment letting me know what you want to see in the future. If you want to get active in the community, you can at forum.hifiguides.com. And as always, don't forget to stick around and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Until the next one, guys. Peace.